Hey, good evening, NBYG. Welcome to True North Live. Wherever you're joining us, we're so glad to have you with us. True North Live tonight, brought to you by Jujyfruits, the chewy, fruity candy, and
Big Chewy Nerds, the best candy on the market right now. I'm just telling you, Eli Waldron has had some of these, and he was close to conferring with me on that.
and apparently also brought to you by the MTCS bowling team.
Go Cougs! Go Cougs!
We had a little wardrobe malfunction earlier, and you just decided to go upstairs and find whatever you could find.
Hey, there's
and
a
that's what you
closet
found.
up there. So we'll see.
It could have been a lot crazier than that.
It could have been. You might need to tune in next week.
These are the first Jujyfruits that I've ever had. This box right here, the first Jujy. I really have never had them before, and I've enjoyed them. Except, I'm realizing you shouldn't eat them on a live broadcast.
Yeah. So
These are the chewiest things I have ever consumed, even more so than sugar babies.
yeah, those are pretty chewy. You could use those for floss.
I'll be cleaning these out of my teeth all night long. This is ridiculous. More on that later. Hey, I should never have done that. We are so glad to have you with us again for week 9. We have some folks that are going to be a little bit older. I think all of us feel a little bit older. But it's time now for our birthdays
in the Burrow.
All right. Anybody that's got a birthday from May the 10th to May the 16th?
It's going to be a long
to May
one.
the 16th. I'm going to let Blake talk. Who's got birthdays in the MBYG?
All right. Happy birthday to Julia Jenkins, Scarlett Davis, Gaines Hassan, Hayden Taylor, Kenny Smith, Dee Dee Vermillion, Yates Guerin, Trevor Stevens. Happy birthday today to Lizzie Wittenberg. And happy birthday on Saturday to yours truly, David Skidmore.
Oh, thank you. And to Chamberlain Little. We share a birthday. He's an MBYG alum.
Right.
We don't always do all the alum, but Chamberlain, you get a shout out tonight. So I hope you're watching. Chamberlain, if you're watching, just shoot us a text, and we'll have to call each other on our birthdays. Okay, so those are the birthdays. If you're sitting with one of those folks, we're going to sing happy birthday.
Oh, perfect.
And we had, yeah. No, we had a promise.
We did have a promise.
We had a promise.
That was promised.
And he thought we forgot. So just get ready. Just get ready. You got very close. We're going to sing happy birthday to all those folks. If you know them, text them and tell them happy birthday. All you got to do is remember 3 simple words, Eli, and those words are,
You're still cool, and it goes like this.
Well, you're 1 year older than you used to be.
You're still cool. Come on, Eli, come on.
You've
Come on in
still
front.
got it. It's
Yeah, let's
plain
go.
to see.
You're still
cool.
You ready? Yeah, it's your birthday today.
That's why
We're here to say, you ready? That you're still cool. All right.
Oh,
He
what
did it.
joy.
Very good. Happy birthday, everybody. Okay, so many of you have voted, and it's time now to reveal round 1, our round 1 results of the NBYG Movie Franchise Bracket Challenge. All right, so there were all of the, there's the bracket. For those of you that are just tuning in, we're having a competition of the 64 greatest movie franchises.
Yes.
Put together by some friends of mine, myself and some other folks worked together. Here were the 4 regions. We'll just recap the 4 regions really quickly. We have the popcorn region and the soft pretzel region, the junior mints region, my personal favorite, and then the Jujyfruits, which it's still in there. It's still up there. It's about to pull out one of my fillings, I think. Those were our now I'm about to choke on a piece.
It's like the Jujyfruit is the Lord of the Rings of chewy candy.
All right, so there were our regions, and here was the bracket. This is what you all voted on, and so we're about to find out the results. Now, we want to remind you that we've asked you to only vote one time. You need to know that when you vote more than once, we're able to see multiple votes by the same user, and we then discard all of those votes, including your original vote. So if you want to get that vote counted, just vote one time and on the honor system. So help us out with that, because a little tampering was obvious last time.
A little collusion.
And so we just erased all of that person's vote. So we don't want that to happen to you. So we're going to give you a chance to vote. And so let's check this out. Blake, I've actually roughly seen these seen these results. We're going to go through these really quickly. Then we'll bring in a friend maybe to talk about them. So this will be the part that we hope is really quick. So let's go into the popcorn region. All right, Blake, tell us who we had in the popcorn region. Going up.
Matchup number 1, we had the Avengers movies, so Infinity War, Endgame, those kind of movies, against Pokemon.
Okay, I think we all kind of knew how this one was going to turn out, and this one, the Avengers won by 147 votes. Okay, now Blake, tell us what this means. Some of these movies have an NBYG logo. What does that mean?
There is a certain company, for copyright purposes, we will not mention their name, that tell you at 90% or above, this is a really good movie. And so this was voted on by y'all, and North Boulevard NBYG said that this was certified fresh, as the Avengers had a 94% voting
Okay, so
rate.
anything over 90%.
Anything over 90%.
There were
is
several
NBYG
certified fresh franchises. That was the number 1 seed. It's going to move on. I think we all knew that was going to happen. All right, Hobbit and the Spider-Man. These are the 2000 Spider-Man movies.
Right.
Not
Tobey
the new
Maguire.
ones. Tobey Maguire. And our winner here by 25 votes was
Spider-Man.
Okay, all right, very good. Let's keep moving on. We have Shrek and Lego. Now, this one I thought was going to be pretty close.
I did too. This was not a shock, but a surprise.
I get made fun of all the time because I just have never gotten around to seeing the Shrek movies. I just haven't had time. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make time. But I haven't seen them. So I personally voted for Lego, but I lost this one because Shrek won by 61 votes.
Right.
All right, so Shrek moves on. Okay, Despicable Me and Wolverine. I think we all knew how this one was going to go. Blake, who won this one?
Despicable Me won by 71 votes.
All right, very good. All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones, not just trilogy. I keep wanting to say trilogy.
Yeah, the franchise.
I'm still going to call it a trilogy.
Yeah, the
because
last one is horrible.
I don't mention that fourth one. But the winner here by 135 votes is Indiana Jones, and it is
NBYG certified fresh.
Okay, all right, very good. Rush Hour and The Dark Knight. I'm pretty sure I've not seen the Rush Hour movies. I've seen the trailer. The trailer makes me laugh, but I've not seen the movies. But the Dark Knight trilogy, a great trilogy, and no surprise here. This one won by 71 votes. A little closer than I thought. I was a little nervous about this one.
Me too. I thought a movie franchise that was really good was not going to get any credit for
But
what's
Rocky
worth.
goes on by 79 votes. Okay, this one was tough for me emotionally because I'm emotionally attached to both of these movie franchises. This obviously does include the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, and Muppets Take Manhattan, for those of you that are older, 48, about to be 49. But I did know who I voted here. The only person I know this is going to really upset is going to be Hope Hutchins. Sorry, Hope. But Toy Story moves on by 103 votes. So maybe someday you'll find the rainbow connection. All right, here we move into the soft pretzel region, and our the winners here. We have our number 1 seed, High School Musical, going up against Medea, and High School Musical wins by 51 votes. All right, very good. It moves on. Who is our next matchup, Blake?
We had Cars and Star Trek, the newer ones since 2009, and the winner here is Cars by 73 votes.
Cars moves on, okay? Despite Cars 2 and a really good scene in
Yeah.
Cars 3, Cars continues to move on. Fast and the Furious and the Santa Claus franchise. Oh, by 13 votes. This might have been the closest one we had in the entire
Definitely the
first round.
closest. I will say I did call this upset, and I'm thankful to you for making sure that happened.
Okay, the Santa Claus won by 13 votes, and it moves on. Home Alone and Spy Kids. Okay, the winner of this one by 55 votes is Home Alone. I'm glad that happened. All right, Pitch Perfect and Jurassic Park. This is one of your
This
favorites.
is close to the heart. Jurassic Park, not Pitch
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Okay, and the winner is?
And the winner is Jurassic Park. They move on to the next round with
Okay.
57 votes.
57 votes. All right, now, this one we thought could be the Superman includes the Christopher Reeve movies of the 70s and 80s, and then the new Superman Returns movie. All those are part
Right.
of the Superman franchise, the Man of Steel. I guess
Right.
all that's. And then the Marvel Thor. This one was close. Thor wins by 39 votes.
Yes, this was 50%, about 51 to 49 headed into Sunday night. So
Yeah, it was very close.
It was very close.
Within a vote or two. Okay, all right. Narnia and Transformers. I was just hoping that Narnia would make it out of the first round, and it did by 55 votes. So we keep going on. Okay, now Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, we'll just say it won by 81 votes. All right, so very good. Lord of the Rings moves on. No surprise there.
No. No shock.
All right, so on to the
Junior Mints region.
Junior Mints region, and here we go. Harry Potter and Barbershop. I've never seen the Barbershop movies.
Neither have I.
But sorry, Barbershop gets cut. And Harry Potter wins by 107 votes. this one is a real favorite, I think.
It is, and
I've not seen
it's
a
the
single
Star
one.
Wars of my generation, I would
That's right.
say.
Yeah, I've not seen a single one.
But it is.
Which I'm going to see. The reason I've not seen them is because I've got to read the books, and I just haven't had time to read the books. I'm not going to watch one of these movies until I read the books.
Definitely read the books. The
All
books
right,
are amazing.
I'll check that out. Okay, and
it
it's
was-
certified fresh.
yes.
All right, Men in Black and The Descendants. Who won this one?
The Men in Black won by 85 votes.
Okay, we keep going on in round one, so if you're following along on your own bracket, which I know some of you are, a lot of folks printed off brackets. Lion King and The Maze Runner, this one I thought didn't even stand a chance, and sure enough, the Lion King wins by 85 votes. All right, Blake, who's up next?
You have the Mission Impossible movies versus the Mighty Ducks movies, and hate to break it, Disney. I think this is the first Disney movie besides the Muppets that lost. Mission Impossible won by 61 votes.
Okay, a little closer than we thought. The Planet of the Apes and the Back to the Future trilogy. I don't know that I've seen any of the new Planet of the Apes movies.
I've seen them only through Colton Smith. He gave us a rendition once, and it was really good.
We may have to have him on to give us a rendition of.
He
give
plays
us a
Caesar
summary.
really well.
Maybe he can just recap all three movies for me live. We'll
That
do
would
that
be
one
awesome.
week. Okay, but the winner here by 103 votes and certified fresh. I'm so proud that the NBYG certified this one as fresh. I didn't think it would make it to that level, but that's good. Just because they're a little bit older. Okay, the Jack Ryan movies, which I didn't realize included all of these movies. I guess I should. I didn't really think about it. But against the Hunger Games, but Hunger Games wins by 75 votes. All right, who's next?
Next up, we have the X-Men movies versus Night of the Museum. I thought this would be closer because X-Men is Marvel, but it just got knocked out. And Night of the Museum won by 49 votes.
Okay, very good. We move on to Marvel. Captain America against the Mummy. And this one here, Captain America wins by 93 votes. Pretty good trilogy, that one is. Okay. Now, the final region, the Juji Fruits region. I'm not about to eat another Juji Fruit on the screen. They are good. I'm just not about to eat any more of them. The Star Wars versus the old Planet of the Apes from the 60s and 70s. So I don't even know if surely they didn't stand a chance here. Won by 113 votes and certified fresh. All right, very good. Way to go, NBYG. Ice Age and the original Star Trek movies from the 70s and 80s. And Ice Age wins this by a close margin of 55 votes. Okay, who's next?
Next, you've got Divergent and the Karate Kid. Also, Jaden Smith, Karate Kid, is involved in that. Let's make sure we clear that up. And the Karate Kid won by 67 votes, kicking down the competition.
Okay, wax on, wax off. It moves on. Okay, Jumanji, the old Jumanji and the newer Jumanji movies, which I have not seen also.
Yes, this is just a great movie poster. I had to put it in there.
And Madagascar. I don't think I've seen those either.
They're okay.
I don't know what movies I guess I'm too busy watching Star Wars movies to see some of these. But Madagascar and Jumanji wins by 37 votes. Another very close one.
It was close.
So Madagascar, that vote alone made me want to go watch the Madagascar movies. Are they really that good?
And they're okay. I mean, the first
well,
one.
everybody here says
the
yes.
first one's good. After that, it gets kind of crazy.
Okay, all right. Kung Fu Panda and the Oceans, not just Ocean's 11, but the Oceans trilogy. This is tough. Kung Fu Panda wins by 39 votes, upsetting Eli Waldron. But it was a close one.
It was close. This was painful. But
all right, here we go.
On. You got Ghostbusters and Marvel Iron Man. Again, we talked about Ghostbusters getting just bad luck of the draw here, and they also were taken down. Iron Man moves on by 25 votes. I Love You 3000.
Yeah, Ghostbusters itself is a great, great, great iconic movie. But when you have to throw in 2 and the new Ghostbusters, that really reduces the quality of that franchise, I think. So Iron Man continues to move on. All right, How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and 3, and the Bourne movies.
This is a tough one.
This was tough. How to Train Your Dragon wins by 22 votes.
Yeah, this was a surprise. I really didn't think that it stood a chance, but the DreamWorks movies are really going on.
And then finally, I think our last matchup was Pirates of the Caribbean, that trilogy, versus the Ernest movies. Not just Goes to Camp, but Ernest Saves Christmas, and Ernest Goes to Jail, and Ernest, all the other Ernest movies. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
So this one, I knew it didn't stand a chance. I think I actually voted for Ernest, just because I went to see this in the theater several times when I was a kid. I really enjoyed those commercials that he was in, which you wouldn't remember, of course. But Pirates wins by 67 votes. Okay, so that was the NBYG's first round. This is what the bracket looks like now going into the next round. We'll put a picture of this on social media at the NBYG so you can print it off and continue to make your own bracket. So don't worry about trying to record all those. We've already printed our brackets off here. And remember, please only vote one time, because if we see multiple votes coming from the same source, all of those votes get thrown out. We want your vote to count. And so let's go on. So we want to talk to somebody, I believe, about this first round. So it's time for a special guest. Okay, so our special guest, by now, you probably know. So everyone, clear your schedules for the next several moments, and hopefully you have nowhere to be. Wow, David's cleaned up. You like a whole new person.
How's it going?
All right, very good. Good to see you, Dave.
Can you guys hear me? Y'all can hear me okay?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. So
loud and clear.
we sent you our results.
Yeah, that's right. I got the results. And I listen, only 4 movies got a higher percentage of the vote than Back to the Future. I wonder if our breaking that down last week had something to do with the magic.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did, because people were hanging on every word of our conversation, every single word.
Did I hear that it was certified fresh by the MBYG?
It was certified fresh.
I was excited to hear about that.
Wow.
So
That's great.
Was there another surprise that you saw, Dave, in the bracket?
No, I was not surprised. I know Blake picked the Santa Claus movies over Fast and Furious, and that did not surprise me. I was a little surprised that the Bourne movies didn't have a better showing.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I was proud of you for this, and here's why. It's because the first books. The first trilogy of books that I ever fell in love with were the Bourne novels. And the movies,
right.
They're magical books. And the movies they are nothing like the books, not at all.
That's right.
And so the Bourne movies are very frustrating for me. I feel like if you've never read the books, you could enjoy them. But having read the books, you really can't even watch them without just getting sick at your stomach. So I was proud of the NBYG, very proud.
Now.
A little surprised, but proud. I'm also a little surprised, David, that you've seen so few of these movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. I don't have a lot of time to go and watch all these franchises. But which one would you say is the one that I really need to jump on next?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think you should read the Harry Potter novels.
Right, which I'm going to do.
Read the Harry Potter books. You got to do that. As far as other, I did fill out a bracket, so I've got my bracket here. As far as other franchises, besides, like, not franchises where you need to read a book first. Have you seen all the Avengers movies?
Oh yeah, every single one.
All the MCU movies.
Every one of them, yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say I really think you need to see the Captain America movies. I am going to. You should watch the new Jumanji, the reboot, the first of the new reboots.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I want to check that out. So,
and it's very creative too. They did a great job of tying it in with the old days, with the original.
It's going to start getting a little tighter here in the second round, and I'm excited to see how that goes. Our voting, by the way, is going to go up for that. We'll talk about that in just a minute, how that's going to work once we say goodbye to David. But David, before we talk about the question we brought up last week, is there anything else on this bracket that you feel like you need to say?
Anything else about the bracket?
Yeah.
Well, look, can I ask you, are you, I know how you're sending out Google Forms, but are you inviting parents to participate in this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody that's on our email list.
Okay. Yeah. That to me is a really critical piece of this because, as you know, obviously, I'm a youth minister, and I love the conversations that good movies create within the family.
Right.
So during the coronavirus stay-at-home stuff, we were quarantined in our home, and my family, all 5 of us, we started working our way through, different franchises. And it's remarkable how cool a good story is to create great conversations in the home. So teenagers in the NBYG, I challenge you, pull your moms and dads into this tournament. I know y'all had something like 140 or 50 people voting this time. You pull your moms and dads into it. Get them into it as well, not just to pad the stats for your favorite movie, of course, but so that they can have some skin in the game. Because now you're down to 32, and as you go further in the tournament, these franchises have stood the test of time, and they're going to make it later in because the story connects to our hearts. And of course, we all know why good movies connect to our hearts. It's because good movies borrow from the real story. That's right. So that's my plug for movies and youth ministry and everything you're doing here.
Okay, nice. So, David, we had a question that we asked you last week, and you and I have not talked about this.
No, we haven't.
I don't
talked
know
about
your answer. I just saw yesterday, I just saw the young man, Landon. I don't know if Landon's watching tonight or not, but Landon, we've been debating back and forth as to Back to the Future 2 or 3, okay? We've only got a few more moments left, so have you made a verdict? Have you come to a conclusion?
Well, no.
Oh, goodness.
I have not come to a conclusion. I wanted to talk you through a few critical elements first, and then I don't listen. This may be the last time you bring me on, and I understand if it is. I understand if it is, but here's the thing. Last week, when I told you that I would decide by this week, my family had already started the Back to the Future franchise together. I got a text last week from a student in my youth group who had made fun of me for how often I talk about Back to the Future. And this was probably Friday, I got a text, maybe Saturday, somewhere Friday, Saturday, I got a text, all caps from this teenager saying, David Rubio, I just watched, the third Back to the Future movie. They're awesome. And it made me so happy. Yeah. And my family decided to work our way through the franchise. It's been many, many years since my kids have seen it. It's been several years since I've seen it. And so I knew that by this week, we were going to be watching 1, 2, and 3. The problem is, last night, we were going to watch number 3 last night. But Madeline and Benson, who had to go pick up their stuff from college, they came home for spring break and all their stuff was in the dorm. They had to go home, and they didn't make it home in time. They had to spend the night with their grandparents. So we couldn't watch number 3.
Okay.
And so right now, number 2 is fresh on my mind. And I am not able to give you, I really wish I could, but I want to make this fair.
Okay. So no, next week, we'll bring you on next week because I have already finished my Juji fruits during this, and they've cleaned them all out of my teeth. I'm all done.
Okay, great.
And so how about next week, you watch the movies, you come back. Landon, sorry, you're going to have to wait another week. I'm going to have to wait another week. We're all going to have to wait to get the verdict.
Okay, but can I say one more thing?
Well, okay.
This will be brief, I promise. I'm serious this time, Skid. When I was watching 2, and first of all, I told you last week how awesome the ending was for 2.
Yeah.
But what I forgot to tell you was that, of course, that in the theater when we watched number 1, they didn't even know there was going to be a number 2.
That's right.
So in 1985, it didn't say anything. And for several years, in fact, I think, I had a conversation with Paul Skidmore. You guys actually saw them essentially shut down an area it was at Universal Studios where they were filming on your birthday trip, maybe
right.
In 1989?
That's right, yeah.
So in 1989, number 2 came out. And when it came out, they had already filmed number 3. Something happened when I was in the theater for number 2. And again, I was so excited to see this movie. When number 2 ended, and for my money, it's one of the great movie endings of all time. As soon as it ended, To Be Concluded comes up on the stage, and then it goes black, and you hear a drum roll, and then music starts to play, and the camera sweeps over this train station from the Old West, and you see what is in essence a trailer for number 3. I had never before seen a trailer for the next movie in the franchise.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It's a precursor to what we now know of and expect from all the Marvel Cinematic movies.
Yeah.
The post-credit scene. This was a pre-credits trailer of number 3, and so we all knew number 3 was coming out in exactly one calendar year. We went bonkers, couldn't wait to see it. And I was watching number 2 the other night, and as I was telling my son and my daughters about how exciting it was, they were riveted.
So next. I'm glad they were.
So that's it. I told you that would be quick, and it was.
Yeah,
that was 2 minutes.
Hey, we're going to next week. We'll get the results. Thank you so much, David.
Yeah,
Everybody. Bye, David. Take care.
See you, David.
Okay. Yeah.
All
bye.
right. All right. Wow. All right. So you have the.
Is that a pre-credit to the trailer next week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just lived what he was talking about. We just saw that out. All right, so we have the bracket, and you're going to get the brackets online. You can go on our Twitter at DNBYG. You'll be able to print those brackets out. Voting is going to start soon. I think it's going to start tonight.
Yes, the email goes out at 7:30 tonight.
Okay, and they're only going to have, we think maybe just like 24 hours to vote. Again, remember, vote once. Anybody that has multiple votes from the same place, none of your votes are going to count. So we want to make sure this is fair. Parents, get on and vote. Everybody in the family can vote. We want to try to see how many people we can get to vote in round number 2. Okay, all right, so let's see what we have coming up next. There's the bracket one more time. All right, so there we go. It's going to be fun. And it looks like, oh, wait. Okay, I think we just actually we just actually did this. We just actually had a special guest, and I'm guessing this means we have another special guest that's going to be with us. Is that right? Apparently, maybe we're having some trouble. Maybe we should eat some. Maybe I should eat some more Juji fruits. Maybe we should just call David Rubio. No, I'll just eat some more Juji fruits, and we'll try to figure that out. Hey, we can just move on to the next and come back if we need to do that. I don't know if it's possible to do that or not. They're telling us to just a moment, because I'm not even really sure who this special guest is. So I'm guessing this is a real thing that we're trying to do here. You know what? Maybe we should just go on. Let's just try this. I don't know if they're able to do this back there. Can we just move on to the next thing? We'll come back to that later. We'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so let's go back to, I don't have that slide. We're not going to be able to advance that. So let's just do this. We're going to go to the NBYG Video Vault. Okay, we're going to open the NBYG Video Vault. All right, here's what we're going to do. Last year, we made a video following March Madness with one of our own children in the youth group, Tucker Stevens. Tucker and I had a bet that whoever got the best bracket was going to, the winner would have to buy the other a Frosty. No, the winner would get a Frosty purchased for them by the loser.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted, so that's how that worked out. And when I won the bracket, then Tucker had to settle up, and so we made a little video. And in that video, we met some other folks as well, and we want to remind you who those people are. And so let's go back in time with the NBYG Video Vault, and let's go ahead and watch that video now. Let's check this out, guys.
Well, I can't make Stones River Manor more exciting, but I can make the announcement about it more exciting because I've got this, my winning NCAA bracket, and I'm here with Tucker Stevens. So we had this little bet that whoever won, which was me, was going to get a free milkshake.
Frosty.
Okay, Frosty. And so today's the day. Here we are at Wendy's. Woohoo! Okay, so let's go inside and get our Frosty. Hey, wait. Okay, I have lost my wallet, so I'm not going to be able to pay, but it doesn't matter because I'm not paying today, because guess who is? You are! All right, come on, let's go inside, guys. Let's go. All right, so hey, we're gonna order 2 milkshakes, two Frosties. One medium vanilla, one medium chocolate, and he's gonna be paying. You better break out your money, big man, to pay for the Frosties. Hey, wait, Tucker, that's my wallet. Okay, all right, fine. There, okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, there's my check. All right, this is the day that I have been waiting for. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Hey, first of all, how'd you get a hold of my wallet?
I guess you never know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold on to it from now on. Oh wait, something's in my pocket. What's that? Oh. Just my winning NCAA bracket. I'll just leave that sitting right there with how many points? 148 points. Whoa. This is really good. Hey, remember we said that while we ate the Frosty, we were going to get a stranger to join us to celebrate. So let's see if we... I do not believe it. Do you see what I see over there? Hey, Jack! It's Jack Piercy. We should have him come join us. Hey, come on over here. Oh, this is awesome, Jack. Fist bump. Boom. Okay. Oh, would you like a Frosty? Okay, we gotta get Jack a Frosty too. You better go get him one, man.
No, you don't have enough money.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Whatever. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on. All right. There we go. All right, very good. Okay, this is awesome, guys. This is great. You seen this, Jack? What's that you said? Who won? Me.
Don't even care.
He asked who won. At least I think that's what he said. Well, guys, this is really exciting. This is probably the most exciting thing that's happened to me. Well, I'm sorry, the second most exciting thing that's happened to me all week besides this. What about you? Most exciting thing?
Don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to talk about it. Fine, okay. What about you? What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you all week?
I pee in the pipe.
All by yourself? Mm-hmm. I pee in the potty. All by myself. Okay, very good. Well, guys, while we're all here together, I think we should tell everybody about Stones River Manor. We want to see you at Stones River Manor. What day is it?
Sunday.
And what time is it?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, that's right. The ladies love when we come. We're going to sing, we're going to pray, we're going to listen to a devotional. Austin Davis is going to be doing the devotional, and then we're going to go and eat somewhere afterwards. It's going to be awesome. Are you going to be there?
Maybe if you don't talk about basketball.
Well, you never know because, I mean, after all, I did win the So, what else are we going to do there, Jack?
We're going to be in the pipe.
Yeah, we just might pee in the potty. Well, so who do you guys think's going to win the NCAA next year?
Not Alabama.
Okay, fine. Who do you think's going to win the bracket challenge next year? Wait, Tucker, where? All right, fine. Where do you think he went?
Pee in the pipe.
Yeah, probably to pee in the potty. One day you'll be in the youth group, and I'll get a chance to beat you at the bracket challenge. Won't that be fun?
Yep.
Yep. Be good. Do you think I'm going to win?
I think I'm going to win.
Oh, you think you're going to win? Why? Why are you going to win?
Because my lenses help me go super fast.
Yeah. I wish we had those subtitles like we had in the last video so I would know what you said. Oh, he finally came back. Well, is your Frosty good? Yeah, mine is too. The one I paid for. Hey, Jack's got to leave. So, hey, Jack, we'll see you at Stones River Manor on Sunday, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Tucker, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for I'm thankful that I bought my own Frosty. This has been great. You want to take a look at this one more time? Well, this has been a great moment of my week, Tucker. In fact, you know what this has really been?
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. In all the years, no one knows just how hard you worked. But now it shows. In one shining moment, it's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're frozen in time. But time is short, and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew that in one shining moment you reached deep of your heart. Feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest. It's more than a race. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best, 'cause inside you knew in one shining moment you reached for the sky. In one shining moment you knew, yeah. In one shining moment you're willing to try. In one shining moment you knew. One shining moment.
See you Sunday.
All right. Hey, nice work, Tucker Stevens and Jack Piercy. Excuse me. Jack was also the other star of that video, along with some workers at Wendy's who were very, very, very confused.
Yes.
But we have on the line with us one of the stars of that video, Jack Piercy, everybody.
Oh,
What's
hey,
up,
Jack.
Hey, Jack, can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Jack, you're wearing a cool shirt. What does your shirt say? Show us.
Best brother ever.
Best brother ever, because you are a big brother. You have a little sister. And what's your little sister's name?
The little brother.
No, but you have a sister. Your sister's name is Kate, right?
Yeah,
But you
but
just
new
had-
baby brother is Will.
You have a new baby brother, and his name is what?
Will.
Luke. Oh, my goodness. How old is Luke, Jack?
0.
He is 0. Okay. How old are you now?
Because he was born a while ago.
Okay. How old are you, though?
4.
Oh, wow. Okay. So is Luke awesome?
Yeah, he's pretty cute.
Oh, wow. Has he said any words yet?
No.
No. I wonder what his favorite words. I wonder what's his first word going to be. What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think the easiest word for him is probably like Jack.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's probably going to say Jack. Yeah, Jack's probably going to be his first word because you're the coolest.
I mean Jack. Just Jack.
Oh.
Not in Western.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to need to get a translator apparently. Hey, so Jack, are you excited to be a big brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
What's one thing that you're teaching Luke already? What are you teaching him?
To wean his head, kind of.
Oh,
and kind of
yeah.
pulling him, kind of.
Yeah, very good. How does he hold his head right now? Show me.
I can't say it.
I mean, what does he do? Like, use your head. Show me what he does.
Like that. Just like that.
All right, very good. Hey, so.
Doing like this.
Oh.
And then doing that. Has his head
Okay.
sideways.
Yeah, very good. Well, I can't wait to meet Luke, and I love baby Kate. Your whole family is so special. We love your mom and your dad. Hey, I understand that while you've been at home, you've been watching some movies, and I understand that one of your favorite movies is one of my favorite movies, The Lion King. Is that right?
And that's not one of my favorite movies.
Well,
It's not even. I don't watch that movie at all. It's not. That's not one of
well,
my.
now, wait a minute. Your dad.
It's my first one that I have to. But my favorite Lion King is Lion King 1.5.
Oh, okay. Lion King 1.5. Actually, I have seen that movie. I've only seen it one time, 1.5 times.
That was awesome.
Well, okay. I was going to ask, what is your favorite song from The Lion King, Jack?
Where when the movie starts, where
Oh,
when it's born.
Yeah.
that
well,
song.
how
I
does
like
it?
that
How
song.
does it go? How does that song go? Remind me.
I don't know.
What are they?
I'll watch it again so I can tell I might get it again.
So when Luke was born, did a big monkey come and get Luke and lift him up and hold him up over the rocks? That'd have been pretty cool though, wouldn't it?
That'd have been awesome.
That'd have been pretty awesome. All right. Hey, well, maybe in the future we'll be able to get Luke on with you on the broadcast and we can actually see Luke sometime. Would he do that sometime, you think?
You want to see him?
Oh, yeah, we can see him now?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see him now. Look, everybody, it's the newest Piercy. There you go. All right,
Yeah.
very good. Hey, look, he's so adorable. Hey, why don't you give him a kiss on his head and tell him that that's from Mr. Skid. Give him a little kiss on his head. Okay, very good. Jack, thank you so much for being the best brother ever and for coming on. Ben, good to see you.
Yeah.
Everybody doing good?
Everybody's good. Yep.
Ben is a former NBYG student and intern, and we love your family. Jack, you've been such a joy to interview tonight. Thank you so much. Hey Jack, can you give us a happy face before you go?
Happy face.
See you Sunday.
See you Sunday. All right, everybody. Bye, Luke. We'll be real quiet so we don't wake Luke up. Bye-bye, Luke. Oh, baby Simba. Bye-bye. All right, Jack, give a big wave to everybody. Say bye-bye.
See you, Jack.
Bye.
All right, thanks so much. Wow, that was a real highlight of my whole week.
That was the morale boost of morale boosts.
Yeah, his dad told me that maybe I just misunderstood that one of his favorite movies was Lion. That question did not go over very well.
It's a good movie critic. Favorite movie changes all the time.
Okay, well, there we go. So Luke Piercy, the newest member of the growing NBYG family, and one day he'll be in the NBYG. A long time from now. Okay, so now we're going to try to go back here, and let's see. It looks like now we have another special guest. We got to go fast here. We have another special guest. Is that right? We have them? Okay. And I'm not even really sure who this guest is. I thought it was going to be Jack. They tell us we have somebody special based on a video we showed last week. I don't even remember what video we showed last week. Oh, we showed a tribute to Mother. Wait a minute. We showed a Mother's Day video. Let's see who this is.
Who in
Show
the
me.
world?
Could it be?
It's your mama jokes, kids.
Oh, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, live all the way from Impact. Here he is. Let's bring him on. There he is. It's Mr. T. All right, very good. Hey, Mr. T, welcome to True North Live.
Good evening, children.
Hey, Mr. T, now can you hear us okay?
Mr. T can hear you just fine.
All right, can you see us at all? You can't see us, though. Sorry about that.
Oh, I can't see you. I don't need to see you. It's better for me not to see you anyway. Mr. T only wants to see himself, truthfully.
So this is the second Impact person that we have had on with us for True North Live. 2 weeks ago we had. I think we've lost Blake again. This is you, Mr. T. You actually eclipsed the Krispy Kreme joke in making Blake laugh. Nice work. We had Bob Ross on a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry that we had him on first.
Who is even Bob Ross? Better yet, actually, that's good that he was on first. He's my opening act anyway. Him and his finger painting. Mr. T is coming here to pump it up.
Mr. T. No. It's a nice mohawk you got there, Mr. T. That's good.
You are very welcome.
So
How's everybody doing over there? That's good. Good to hear. Mr. T is great.
Oh, I didn't even get a chance to answer. He didn't really want to know.
Again,
How are you doing in the quarantine, Mr. T?
Mr. T is loving the quarantine. Actually, I've been going outside on jogs because I've been outside kicking Corona's behind. You don't got time for this turkey stuff.
So you're not afraid? Do you wear a mask when you go out?
Do you see these chains? You don't got time for no mask. Mr. T is a mask.
Mr. T is a mask. So, hey, Mr. T, we've been doing a movie challenge with some movies, and you were actually in one of our movie franchises.
Oh.
Yeah, you were in the Rocky movies, and it went up against Twilight. You'll be glad to know that the Rocky movies advanced on and beat the Twilight movies.
Well, that's very good. And actually, let me tell you a story about that Rocky movie. I let him beat me. I would have beat that turkey cold, knocked him out. Mr. T needed some new chains, so I took the fall.
So you're saying you were acting?
Absolutely. I'm the best actor that ever lived.
Yeah, we can tell. Hey, so Mr. T, we've also done another challenge with some breakfast cereals. And we did a whole bunch of breakfast cereals. Cinnamon Toast Crunch was the winner of our breakfast cereals. But it well,
Are you telling me that Mr. T cereal was not featured in the cereal competition?
Well, let's show a picture of that. Let's show. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Mr. T cereal was actually a thing in the 80s. Look, there's stickers. It comes with stickers
Fortified with B vitamins and
Absolutely.
iron.
Teaming up with Mr. T is the best kind of breakfast meal you can have. And my cereal had a touch of brown sugar. The best cereal on the market.
So, what are some other favorite cereals? Do you have any other favorite cereals?
There are no other cereals. Mr. T is the only cereal.
Okay.
You eat Mr. T cereal, you eat bread, bananas, and more Mr. T cereal. That is a balanced breakfast.
That's part of this nutritious breakfast. Oh, my
You don't
goodness.
eat none of that Tony the Tiger. Tigers can't even talk. They can't even do anything.
What about-
And he's got on a bandana. Bandanas aren't cool, kid.
What about-
Change the jewels.
What about Frankenberry?
Frankenberry? Berries are too healthy. You need to eat more Mr. T cereal.
Captain Crunch?
Captain, he don't got no Mr. in front of his name. He's just Captain.
What about
Mr.
Sugar
T has a
Smacks.
good
What
name.
about Sugar Smacks?
Sugar Smacks?
Yeah.
And that got a frog on it.
What about Tricks?
Tricks, rabbits are unsafe. You do not need to trust no rabbits, kids. Believe Mr. T. I trusted a rabbit one time and it was not good.
Well, what about Count Chocula?
Oh, I'm all right with him. Mr. T and him, A-okay. I like to count. He likes to count. We good.
Okay. All right. I have sufficiently lost it. All right. Okay. Hey, Mr. T, we're going to have to go. Before we go, though, you normally. Oh, wow. I'm actually crying. Mr. T, normally you read poems or short stories or some type of art at Impact with us.
Absolutely.
Do you have a poem for us tonight before you go?
Actually, I do. I've been working on something. Roses are red, violets are blue. Actually, Mr. T don't got time for no poems. I'm ready to go and beat up Corona and take over and get ready to do the domination. And I'm going to take this chair. I got a chair over here. I'm going to put this chair in his face.
Okay. All right. So no poem. Mr. T, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
We
T.
really we needed that morale boost. Okay, take care. I think he just broke his computer. Oh my
Where
goodness.
was he that the whole background had to be blurred?
Yeah, I don't know. That was worth it. That was worth it. All right, very good. Hey, we're already running behind time. But let's keep going. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Oh my goodness, we got pictures of the week.
Pictures of the week.
We got. Who even needs pictures of the week? Hey, you know what? Maybe we just say. I want to just save these for next week. But no, we got. There's some things that we got to get through real quick. You know what? I'm just going to save these for next week. Let's just. So Mike, advance past these. I'm sorry. I know some of you are waiting on pictures of the week. We've got something else we really want to get to, and that'll give us something to look forward to next week. But we did have some pictures we wanted to show you this week, but we're gonna. I got to move on from that. Okay. All right. So give me a signal when you got it advanced to the end of the pictures of the week, and I think we're ready for the next thing. So last week, we'll get ready to play this clip here in a second, Cynthia. So last week, okay, I got to catch my breath. We played a clip of Jeff McLean. Jeff McLean left an audio message on my phone for a song that he couldn't remember, and he wanted to try to remember what it was, and it ended up being the NBA theme on NBC. And just a refresher, this is Jeff McLean now. We're trying to refresh our memory about how this song went. Here it is. All right, there you go. And so we thought it might be fun to have some fun with Jeff and to bring in some of you. We've got some time to do this now that we nixed the pictures of the week. And we're going to get that up here in just a second. And we'll see. I know I've thrown them for a curve tonight, and they're doing a great job back there. Just let me know when we got that slide back up, and we'll move on. Or maybe we don't need the slide. We're going to be bringing them on here in just a minute. That was part of the problem, is they were going to use pictures of the week, I think, to get everybody on for the game here. So, all right. So let's see if we can do this. We're going to Cynthia. Are they ready and waiting to go there at all? Are they ready? Okay. All right, we'll get them up in just a minute. I'm sorry, Mr. T threw me for a loop. That was a real highlight. If we had some sort of Avengers with Jack and Mr. T
that would be awesome.
and Bob Ross,
it would probably be NBYG certified fresh.
that would be the movie. That one would go all the way through there. Okay, so well, I've completely messed things up for those of you that are watching at home, and I've put the test on the tech crew. They're doing a fabulous job handling all these curveballs, and I think we're ready to go. Cynthia, we're going to try to go. We're not going to have. I don't think we have the slide or the title slide, but let's play the theme. We're going to play Name That Tune. All right, there we go. Name That Tune. Nice job. Thank you, guys. And this is how this is going to work. We've assembled some folks from the NBYG, including some very special guests. And let's do this.
Landon isn't
all
hosting
right, let's
right?
bring in all of our special guests. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, here is our Zoom room of all of our, there they are. All right, way to go. Hey, look.
Oh.
Everybody, I see, they're the interns, our 4 NBYG interns. We have NBYG students from the past. There's Delaney Sane. Delaney, give a big wave. There's Delaney. We have NBYG students from the present. It's a sibling team. A sibling, Jack Palmer and Ella Grace Palmer. Way to go. There they are up there. And then, oh, look, it's Charlie Strickland. Charlie got booted out last week, and so there's Charlie this week. So, guys, in just a minute, you're going to unmute yourself. We're going to talk to a few of you. We're going to do this quickly because I don't know if you saw or not. We had a delightful conversation with Mr. T, and he threw us off. Let's start with Delaney. Delaney, if you'll unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Delaney, how are you?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing very good. So you're ready to play a little game with us here in a second. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
your mom is a year older.
Hey, come here.
Yeah, your mom is a year older. Happy birthday, Amy
Happy
Sane.
birthday, Miss Amy.
All right. Very good. Y'all get 6 feet apart. Okay. So let's go up to the Jack and Ella Grace. Jack, y'all unmute yourself. And how are y'all doing? You're our super sibling pair tonight. How are y'all doing?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're doing pretty good.
We're good.
Okay, y'all ready to take on this challenge in just a minute?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Sure, it's on.
All right. Hey, let's go to Charlie. Charlie up there. Charlie, unmute yourself, and let's get to Charlie. Jack, keep yourself unmuted because you might want to answer some of these questions. I think Jack and Charlie are probably on the same wavelength. Charlie, you got some new questions for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hear one.
Yes.
What do you got?
What do hiccups taste like?
I guess whatever you last ate. But for me right now, Juji fruits. Okay, next question. You got another one?
He looks like he's got a
What do cats dream about?
What do cats dream about? Jack, what do you think cats dream about? Jack Palmer? I was expecting you to have a fun, witty response.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, all right, very good.
Cats don't have dreams.
Yeah, okay. Hey, and then there's our 4 interns. I see, and then down. Oh, wait, Lucy. Lucy's down there at the bottom. Lucy, let's unmute Lucy. Lucy. So we have NBY. Everybody keeps moving around on the screen for us here. So Lucy, tell us. Do you know what cats dream about, Lucy?
Maybe dogs chasing them.
Okay, all right, very good. Are you ready to play Name That Tune here in a second?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you up for the challenge? Okay, very good. And then let's see. We've interviewed. Now let's go to the interns really quickly. All 4 of the interns. Y'all go ahead and unmute yourself, all of you, and let's say hi to everybody. Ben Jenkins, how are you, Ben?
I'm doing great.
We're ready to see you guys in a week or so, and we're getting excited about it. You ready to play Name That Tune in a second?
Well, I'm so excited.
Okay, all right, Shelby, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. don't sound too excited there, Shelby. Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay, very good. Mackenzie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You ready to play Name That Tune?
So ready.
Okay, and Ross, what's up, Ross?
Hey, what's up?
Are you in Knoxville or are you in Chattanooga?
I'm in Chattanooga right now.
Okay, how are things in East Tennessee?
Oh, they're great.
Okay,
perfect,
right.
Beautiful.
All right, very good. Well, we're getting ready to play Name That Tune. Jeff McClain, you're with us. Jeff, are you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Here's how this is going to go. We're going to do a couple of songs. We may get time to do our entire list. We're not sure. Jeff's going to start singing the songs. Now, he can't hum and he can't use words. You're going to raise your hand when you know the answer, and then we'll stop Jeff at some point. We'll try to pick whose hand we see first, and we'll let you go first, and we'll see who's going to win the game here, okay? Very good. What's up, Robert? Okay. All right. So, Jeff, you ready with song number 1? Everybody listen very carefully. Turn your volume up. Jeff, go.
Oh!
Charlie, we got Charlie. All right, Jeff, we got Charlie. Charlie, what was it? You got to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Tell us what it was, Charlie.
The Greatest Show.
He got it right. The
Well
Greatest Show.
done, Charlie.
Nice job. It sounded like the Lion King for a second there. I think that's what Delaney was going to say. She got really excited about Lion King. All right, Jeff, we're going to go to number 2, song number 2. You guys, you might be able to unmute yourself. I'm not exactly sure, but to be ready to unmute, Jeff, song number 2. Here we go.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Da 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 da.
Ella Grace, what was it?
Hakuna Matata.
She got it right. It's Hakuna Matata. Nice job. I got to look at my list because I'm not sure I'm going to know what all these are. Okay, here we go with song number 3. We're going to go with song number 3. Jeff, give us song number 3.
Dun dun da 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 do 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 dun da 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 do do da 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 do 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 da 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 da.
All right, Jack, your hand was up first. I just wanted Jeff to keep going. What was it?
That was Get Right Church.
You got it. Get Right Church. Okay. All right. We got three different people with answers. Here we go.
Looks like that
Let's
Sunday.
go to number 4. Jeff, number 4.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Mackenzie, what is it? Mackenzie, what is it?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
She got it right. Bohemian Rhapsody, the first intern. All right, interns. All right, here we go. Okay, get ready. Get ready. This one's going to be close. This will be a close one. Go with number 5, Jeff.
Dun 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 dun.
Shelby? What is it, Shelby?
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen. Yeah, she's got it right. All right, it's girl interns have 2 points. Guys, no points. All right, come on. And then Lucy, we got faith in you, Lucy. Here we go. And Delaney. All right, get ready. Here we go. All right, let's go with number 6. Oh, this will be tough. Number 6 is tough.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, wow, I saw Jack's hand. Jack, you got it from that? What is it, Jack?
Don't Stop Believing.
Don't stop. Da, 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 da.
All right, yeah, stop singing. Okay, all right, here we go. The next one. Way to go, Jack. You all are in the lead now. Let's go with number 7. I saw Mackenzie's hand first. Lucy was a close second. Mackenzie, what do you got?
Is that the Gilligan's Island theme song?
She's got it right.
I knew it.
She's got it right. She is now tied for first place. All right, Jeff, we're going to go to number 8. This is going to be a tough one, guys. Number 8.
Delaney.
Delaney, what is it? Stop, Jeff, stop. For once in her life, Delaney is muted. We can't hear Delaney. I never thought, it was a sentence I never thought I would say. We can't hear Delaney.
I don't know it. Never mind.
Oh, who was second? I think Ella Grace was second. What is it, Ella Grace?
Is it Take Me Out to the Ball Game?
No.
No,
Jack. You got one guess, Jack.
The MTSU fight song.
He got it right. Way to go, Jack. Good job. Okay. All right. Number 9. We got 3 more, guys. We have 3 more. We got to go fast. Number 9, Jeff. Go.
Shelby.
I think Shelby was first. Lucy, you were so close on that one. She was close second. Shelby, what is it?
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah, that's right. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. All right, Shelby got it right. Shelby's got points. So right now, it's Ella Grace and Jack have 4.
Yes.
Okay, we've only got 2 more. So those of you that you can, let's try to get Lucy on the board and Delaney on the board. Here comes number 10. 2 left, guys. Here we go, number 10.
Dong, 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 dong.
Oh, Lucy, what is it, Lucy? Lucy. Yeah, she got it right. Lucy's on the board. All right. So now everybody has points except for Ross, Ben, and Delaney. All right, here we go. This is it. So let's try to see if one of you all can beat the others. Here comes your very last song.
Da, da, da. Da, 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 da,
Mackenzie. Mackenzie. I saw Mackenzie.
Da, 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 da. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Mackenzie, what is it?
YMCA.
She got it right. She got it right. Our winner, it looks like Ella Grace and Jack. I know it's a little unfair. You were a sibling pair, so you all are our singing champions. Jeff, give us a little more YMCA as we leave.
Down, 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 down.
Everybody sing along. All right, very good. Hey, I might have laughed as hard tonight as I've laughed in a long time. Hey, Jeff, thanks so much. Interns, thank you all so much. We're going to see you all really, really soon. Lucy and Ella, Grace, and Jack representing the NBYG present. Thank you so much. Charlie representing the future of the NBYG. Thank you so much. Good to see you again, Charlie. And Delaney representing the NBYG past. It was so good to see all of you. Jeff, thank you very much. All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you guys. Thanks for playing Name That Tune. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Wow.
Wow, that's got to come back.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring that one back. That was fun.
Man, if Landon had only plugged that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, very good. Okay, there we go. All right, wow. I believe now that we are ready to go to really the reason that we're here. And we want to talk about the Pray Day. Those of you that are praying for our group, these folks prayed for us last week. Thank you very much. All these folks are going to be praying starting tomorrow. So set your timers, and you're going to pray the number of minutes equal to your age. And then at the NBYG on Twitter and on Instagram at what time?
At 10:10.
Okay, at 10:10 every day. Be sure and check, and one of our students will be giving a devotional. You can go back and look at all those. If you missed any of those, you can watch them all again. That'll be great. Okay, it's been a fun night, hasn't it?
It has been a blast.
Okay, all right. Well, we're about to, in just a minute, bring in a very special guest, and I'm really, really excited. I think he's been tuning in. There's no telling. He knows a little bit about the NBYG. There is no telling what he thinks about us now.
Yeah, it's not a good way to show ourselves. I don't know. I really do love this guest, and I've seen him do some things on an impact stage that he may fit right in.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. You got a great point. Okay, everybody. So in just a minute, we're going to bring him in. But first, I just want to remind us of one thing we talked about last week, because it'll set us up to what we're going to talk about with my good friend Dave in just a minute. Last week, I showed you this picture from India. So many of you will remember. You'll remember this picture that I showed, and how the pollution in India has dropped because of the shutdown, because of this pandemic. And once that happened, the Himalaya Mountains are now visible for the first time in 30 years from over 200 miles away. They can be seen because all this pollution has gone away. Well, we also mentioned last week, we talked a little bit about the story of Jeremiah. And I'm guessing, I think maybe my slides might have gotten, did it reboot? Okay, all right. Then we're going to have to, because it rebooted an older version of that there. So we're going to have to just advance through that a little bit later on. But we looked at this passage from Jeremiah, and the question that God asked Jeremiah when he takes him outside, and he says, Jeremiah, what do you see? And Jeremiah looks around and he sees an almond tree. If you'll remember the passage from last week, he sees an almond tree, and he says, I see an almond tree. God says, you've seen correctly. And he says, because I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. Because the word for almond tree and the word for watching, shoched and shakhed, sound very similar. And God was trying to say to Jeremiah, hey, Jeremiah, when everything is dead and when things start to come to life in the springtime, the first thing that you see is the almond tree. So I don't know, Mike, if you can get out of that maybe and go to the pictures of the almond tree. We may be able to jump around in this. We may not be able to make it work because it opened up the wrong presentation. He says, when you see this almond tree, I want you to be aware that I'm watching to make sure that everything is fulfilled. And that would be a reminder every season throughout Jeremiah's long ministry that God was going to fulfill the plan that he had for him, because Jeremiah said, I'm not up to this. I'm young, and I don't want to be a prophet. So I wanted to bring in somebody that I feel like is a modern-day Jeremiah, who was appointed as, I think, a prophet to the nations from a very, very young age, and recognized that call and said yes to God. If you remember last week, we said that discipleship is our everyday yes to following Jesus. So I recapped that in a phone call with our guest. And so, Mike, you can go to the end of this presentation for what's coming up next week when we get Dave on the line later on, and then we'll skip through that. But let's go ahead and bring Dave Clayton in. Dave, I think Dave can hear us. Can you hear us okay, Dave?
Hey, what's up, Skid? Great to see you, man.
Okay, we can see you fine. You're not going to be able to see us. But, Dave, I have been looking forward to this all week. It is such a joy to have you with us. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, man, it's so fun. You know, I was sitting there watching you as you drugged that kid into Wendy's just to make fun of him with song. And I thought, man, that may be the greatest thing I've ever seen. And then Mr. T came right after that. And I thought, this is just going to be a tough night to follow. So it's great to be with you guys. Well, I would have loved to have known what the Wendy's workers were thinking as you came in singing that song and just being yourself.
Yeah, us too. Dave, you know, we've had a chance to do quite a few videos like that over the years together working at Impact. Probably my favorite two memories of you, Dave. One, Dave's worked with us at Impact for years. Little known fun fact, Dave was the very first incarnation of one of Impact's most famous characters. Dave, would you like to tell us the costume that you wore for several years before passing on to the people?
Bear on the bicycle. You know, that was kind of my claim to fame, one of my favorite things. You know, following Jesus, marrying Sydney, having boys, and then being the bear on the bicycle.
That's right.
May be the greatest thing I've ever gotten to be a part of.
And we still, to this day, show the very first clip. When we sing it at Impact, we show the first clip that we filmed years ago, so you still live on, even though nobody knows it's you except people watching tonight. My favorite time with you, though, was when we were at Impact and the theme was Hooked, and I was Captain Hook and you were Peter Pan. And that was one of my favorite themes of Impact ever. And just the journey of watching you represent every student in that group trying to battle what does it mean to grow up. And that was just one of the greatest joys, was working with you in that skit. I still have the Tinkerbell that you carried on your shoulder. She's actually upstairs in our prop room. And when we go upstairs, she's sitting there greeting us all the time. Do you have a favorite Impact memory you can share with us real quick?
Well, you know, the favorite Impact memory I have is actually from that same year with Hook, you know, being Peter Pan. It was the moment when you guys had asked me to find some pixie dust that you wanted me to sprinkle on the stage. And I got that like 10-pound bag of flour without getting anybody's permission or clearance. And we threw flour all over the stage. And I mean, that was almost 10 years ago. And there's hardly a time when I'm back on Lipscomb's campus when someone from facilities at Lipscomb doesn't mention that moment, because they took forever trying to clean up that flour. But that was one of my favorite moments from Impact by far.
So Dave, I do want to transition us a little bit and give us a couple of sentences about, you spoke at a retreat for us years ago. Most of our students, I think it was 7 years ago. So most of them, if they were in the 7th grade, maybe they remember you, but they've heard you probably speak at Impact or maybe some other events. But I just want you to tell us just real quickly when God put this call on you to do what you're doing now, and tell everybody what you're doing now.
Yeah, you know, so my wife and I, we kind of have the joy of giving leadership to 3 different areas. We have a family of local churches here in downtown Nashville called Ethos Church that we got to start a little over a decade ago with some of our friends, and that's a lot of fun. And we give leadership there. Kind of the second area is with kind of a citywide movement where we bring churches together to pray and fast on behalf of the city. That's called Awaken Nashville, and we've got hundreds of churches that are part of that. And then we have a global family of leaders that are committed to making disciples and planting churches. And we started that about 5 years ago, and it's really fun. You know, we have 43 church planters that are a part of that, leading churches in 32 cities across 7 different nations. And so those are the leadership hats that we wear that most people know about. One of my favorite things that we give leadership to is this thing called the Man Tribe. We started that a couple of years ago. Where we have 3 sons, 9, 7, and 5 years old, And we started this group called the Man Tribe with them and a small group of friends and their dads. And we said, hey, what does it look like to commit to discipling these young men, not just to the point where they graduate high school, but to disciple them until they become fathers one day, spiritual fathers, biological fathers. And so we called these guys together and said, hey, do you want to go on a discipleship journey for about 20 years together? And that's been a whole lot of fun. So that's kind of what we do. And when did God call us into that? The truth is so much of our calling is felt really as though it's just kind of progressed one day after next. I love your definition of discipleship, saying yes to Jesus every day. And so felt like a long time ago, Jesus just started asking us things. We kept saying yes, and we look back and go, man, how did we end up here? But a lot of it's just been with that just daily yes. And so that's a little bit of kind of what we do, and it's been a lot of fun.
So, Dave, you and I just had a brief conversation earlier, and we talked about some of the things we talked about last week, that discipleship is our everyday yes. And you mentioned, you didn't share all the stories with me, so I'm anxious to hear them, about some times in your life where you kind of felt like Jeremiah, where God was asking you to do something. And I said, Dave, was there ever a time when God put a call before you and you just said, I don't know that I want to do this, like Jeremiah did? And you said, oh, of course, I can think of 2 stories. Do you have time to go into those stories with us real quick?
Yeah, I've had a lot of those moments. I think a lot of times when God begins to invite us into something, if you're anything like me, all you can see is your own inadequacy, or you see what it's going to cost you. And so there's always this sort of reluctance in me to go, man, God, who am I? I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. But I think of 2 moments off the top of my head. One was when I was about 17 years old, and there was a guy in our church. He was in his early 60s. He was a serial entrepreneur, started businesses and did all sorts of neat things. And he asked me to come help lead one of these little things that he had started, one of these little businesses, and he wanted to mentor me. And I remember just the responsibility that he was inviting me into was really kind of overwhelming at the time. It was a pretty big job, much bigger than anything I'd ever done. And so I was praying about it, and I sensed in my spirit that God was saying, Dave, I want you to do this. But I felt so inadequate at it. So I remember going to tell my dad. I said, hey, Dad, I think God may be wanting me to do this, but I don't think I can do it. And I'll never forget what my dad said to me. It's been just a pivotal statement for the last 15 or so years. He said, Dave, you really only have one question you need to ask, and that is God really inviting you to do this? He said, because if God is inviting you, you don't need to worry about how you feel. You don't need to worry about your opinion on it. You just need to say yes to your Father. That's all you do. When it's from the Lord, you say yes to Him. And that advice has been so good. I remember stepping into that moment at 17 years old with that guy who's become just an incredible mentor, one of the most life-shaping experiences I've ever been a part of. And then I think about a moment just 2 years ago when Sydney and I, that's my wife, a couple times a year, we try to get away for a prayer retreat, just the 2 of us, to seek what God would have for us in the next season. And we were on one of these retreats, and we felt like God had very clearly told us that He wanted us to raise up someone to pray for every single person in the city of Nashville by name. And, it's 1.8 million people. We're like, how do we do that? And so we felt this really clear word from God, but we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know if we could do it. We didn't know if we wanted to do it. But the more we prayed, there was just this sense that Jesus was saying, hey, I'm inviting you to do this. And that launched us into this moment that we've been a part of the last couple of years, nearly 1,000 churches praying for 1.8 million people. And now it's beginning to launch out, not just across the state. We've had 11 cities across the state do that with us this year, but we have people all across the country. We had 4 different countries, nations participate with us this year. And it all started just because God said, hey, would you do this? And we believe we weren't qualified, but it's not our job to be qualified. He calls us, and then He gives us what we need to follow Him. And so those are just a few moments. I could tell you some more, but I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for or not. But no, that's what I hear when you talk about just kind of that reluctancy to step into calling.
Well, and Dave, I do think of you as a modern-day Jeremiah who kind of says, okay, God, I'm going to be faithful. I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I'm equipped to, but I'm going to be faithful. I'm going to say yes to it. And God says, what do you see? And, you've seen that almond tree we talked about. You and I talked about this idea of the pollution in the Himalayas, that image that was just so powerful in my mind when I saw it on the news. And I thought, yes, that captures the moment that we're living in, where so many things have been taken away that we love. And so many of our students are broken, but so many things are being taken away that maybe were in our way. And I said, Dave, what would you want to talk about? And just, Spirit-led, you said, I'd like to talk about the ministry of disruption. And so I'm just going to turn over to you for just a moment and just share some words about that. What does it mean to minister in a time where so much is disrupted?
Well, I think disruption's interesting because typically when we hear that idea of disruption, we immediately think of the negative. Like nobody, praise God, disrupt me. I want you to rearrange my life. But what I found is there is something that God does in seasons of disruption that he very rarely seems to do in seasons of comfort. And maybe he's trying to accomplish those things in our lives in seasons of comfort, but maybe we're just oblivious to it. And so I think about the way that this season, I loved that image that you showed of the mountain range because, everything has kind of come to a halt in our culture. And I think maybe, for some of you, some of the pollution that's been cleared away was maybe some obvious things, maybe some toxic friendships, or maybe you were in some environments on a regular basis that no longer you have access to. And as that's been cleared away, maybe you see Jesus more clearly. But I think for me personally, one of the things that's been interesting about disruption is the way that God has disrupted some of the good things in my life to give me a clearer picture of the better things. And what I mean by that is I think sometimes, especially in a place like Nashville or Murfreesboro or here in the Southeast, if we're not careful, we can confuse religious activity with spiritual intimacy. And so we can begin to think, oh man, because I go to church and because I go to the filling station and because I'm part of True North and because I go to Impact and camp and all of these things, I'm in a really good spot with God. But I don't think any of those things are bad. I think they're good. And I think God loves to use them. But I think one of the beautiful things about disruption is there are moments when God takes away some of those things in our lives, or he allows those things to be stripped away. And we have to come face to face with just the raw reality of, like, do I actually know Jesus? Like, do I know Jesus? Do I know his voice? Do I know his heart? I love what Jesus says. He says, my sheep, they know my voice. They listen to me. They do what I say. And I think there's a lot of us that in the hustle of just everyday life, it's really easy to confuse religious activity with spiritual intimacy. And I think God's using this season of disruption to get us back to basics and to say, hey, this is what it's all about, you just knowing me. And, I've had several of those moments during this quarantine. I did a wedding last weekend, and, none of the plans they had for that wedding went according to plan. The venue canceled on them. They couldn't have the big crowd. They couldn't go on their honeymoon. All of those things were canceled. But it's really beautiful. They said, hey, we want to get married anyway. So I went over to their parents' backyard. It was the bride and groom. It was both of their parents. And it was one friend who was playing the role of caterer, DJ, and photographer. He was just trying to do all of it. And we're sitting there under this tree in their backyard, and I'm performing their wedding. And I thought, man, this is not what you imagined. This disruption has changed all of your plans. But in some ways, the disruption has brought you back to what this is all about. And that is two people standing with their parents in the presence of God saying, hey, we commit to each other for the rest of our lives. And that moment for me was just really powerful. I think God was saying, hey, look at how I'm doing this all over the world right now. Things have been disrupted, and I'm bringing people back to the basics, back to knowing me, back to relationship, back to family, back to all of that. And so I think it's pretty powerful. It's not convenient or comfortable. It's probably not even wanted. Like, I'm excited to get back together with other human beings, but it can be really good in our walk with Jesus.
So, I told you we had seventh graders all the way through college students and seniors, parents all watching. I said, don't worry about trying to appeal to one age group or the other. A lot of our folks are asking, what is the church going to look like on the other side of this? Some of our students are wondering, what is our youth group going to look like, on the other side of this? What do you think God is doing to the church in the midst of this, or not doing to the church, but he's obviously allowed this to happen. Maybe he didn't cause it to happen, but what is he going to do to redeem this, and what's the church going to look like on the other side?
Yeah, I think in some ways, Jesus is really undomesticating his church.
Explain what you mean to a seventh or eighth grader who says, I don't know what those words all mean.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Jesus is inviting the church back into the wild. And what I mean by that is, over time, if we're not careful, following Jesus can be turned into just a form of religion, and where we show up and it's safe and it's predictable and it's comfortable and we know all the right answers and we know exactly how it goes, and we forget that God has called us on this wild adventure of turning the world upside down with the glory of God, like bringing love into the dark places, bringing light into the dark places, engaging, the kingdom of darkness with the kingdom of light. Like every one of you, whether you're in 7th grade or whether you're 60 years old, God has so much more for you than just sitting in a seat and hearing a sermon and singing songs. Nothing's wrong with any of that. I think all of it's good and it has its place. But I think in seasons like this, Jesus is kind of wooing the church back out into the wilderness, saying, hey, all of the rules have changed. Life as you know it is different. I want to reintroduce you to the mission that I've given you. And you see this all throughout the scriptures, that it seems as though every time God turns a page in human history, he turns the page by inviting people out of comfort into the wild. And so I think about, with the Israelites, he takes them out of Egypt. They're in slavery, certainly not a comfortable moment, but he brings them into this moment of freedom. And the first thing he does in their moment of freedom is he takes them into the desert. He takes them into the wilderness, into the wild. And you look at that and you go, man, they're in the wilderness, not because they sinned or did anything wrong. They were there because God led them there. Now, they ended up staying in the wilderness way longer than they were supposed to because they weren't obedient. But God led them there into the wilderness because he knew that he didn't just need to get them out of Egypt, but in the wilderness place, he needed to get Egypt out of them. He needed to change their mindset. He needed to teach them what it meant to be in relationship with him again. And it's the same thing you see in the New Testament. Jesus shows up and the people of God had become so domesticated. They'd been so tamed. They were just playing by the rules, sitting in the synagogues. And Jesus shows up. And if you remember kind of the way that God turned that page on history for Jesus to enter in, he did it by bringing a wild man, John the Baptist. And they went into the wilderness to hear him speak. And same thing with Jesus. His first 40 days of ministry were in the wilderness. And he took his disciples, and most of what you see him doing was in the wild spaces, in the middle of storms and on boats and on roads and around dinner tables and with, questionable people. And it's what Jesus was doing. I think he was saying, hey, guys, I've got a mission for you, and the mission involves risk and uncertainty. And so maybe that's a long answer, but what I really see God doing in the church right now is he's getting us comfortable with uncertainty again, right? Because the greatest things in the kingdom of God happen just on the other side of our comfort zone. And so I don't exactly know what church is going to look like in the next season in regards to form and when we get back together, but I do know that the way of the kingdom of God is always getting better. Jesus, he saves the best wine for last. In John chapter 2 at the wedding, the best wine for the end of the party. To me, I read that and go, man, he saves the greatest adventure for the end of the story. And so I know whatever's ahead of us, he's preparing us for that mission. And I'm excited about it. Even though it's really uncertain and a little bit uncomfortable, I'm excited about what God's doing.
I don't know how many people are tuning in tonight. If it was just you and I having this conversation, it's been worth it because I know I've been blessed and needed to hear and be challenged by those things. Because as a leader in the midst of this, I've really dealt with a pretty heavy strain of how do I translate this? How do I take this and hear a message from God myself and then turn to somebody else and try to communicate it in words that they can understand. And you've given a lot of language to that tonight, which I really appreciate. You and I spoke just briefly earlier today about this passage we've been unpacking from 2 Peter about all these qualities that God says, I want you to have. Add this to this and to this. Pack your soul with all of these things. And if you have these qualities, in increasing measure, they'll keep you from being ineffective and unproductive. I asked you this question. I didn't get your answer yet. I'm looking forward to hearing it. What do you think Peter means when he says, if you have these in increasing measure? What does increasing measure mean to a disciple?
Yeah, I think if we're not careful, we hear that idea of increasing measure and we almost view it like a test. How do I go from a B- to a B+ to an A- to an A+? And I don't hear Peter saying that at all. What I hear Peter echoing is the words of Jesus. Jesus, in John 10, he says, I've come to give you life to the full. Maybe another way of saying it is, Jesus says, I want you to experience the overflowing of heaven in you, the overflowing life. And what I see in the life of Jesus over and over, it says in John's gospel that Jesus ministered from the fullness of grace and truth. He ministered from a place of fullness. And what I see in the life of Jesus is he's constantly going, hey, Skid, I don't want you to just get by. I don't want you to just survive this pandemic. I don't want you to just survive, this season of parenting. I think he's looking at us saying, I want you to be overflowing with the fullness of heaven. And so I think when what Peter's tapping into there is this idea that, man, even if you think you've been living a life with some of these things in place, he doesn't want you to just experience some of heaven. He wants you to experience all of heaven right here and now. And so I think that's that increasing measure kind of language that he's using.
I got time for a couple more questions, and I don't know that we talked about these earlier, so I'm not trying to stump you, but I think that you'll be able to give a great answer. Let's say a student's out there and says, I've just disconnected from the Word. I've not been reading. I don't even really understand the Bible. I don't know where to start. To a student, 7th to 12th grade, any age in between, and says, I've got my Bible, and, Dave, just tell me, where would you tell me to open up and start reading? I'm just real curious, where would you point somebody in Scripture, a student, a high school, middle school, high school student, where would you tell them to open up and start reading if they were stuck?
Yeah, I'd tell you two things. One, when I was in my mid-20s, I had finished grad school studying theology, and I remember waking up one day realizing I have no interest in reading the Bible. And maybe that sounds surprising to you, but I remember just feeling so dry in my faith and really struggling reading the Scriptures. And I didn't know what to do, so I called my mom, and she and my dad are two of my heroes in the faith. But I remember as a kid watching my mom almost every single day read the Bible in our home. And my dad did as well, but my dad was a pastor, so I thought he was kind of cheating, like that was a part of his job. But my mom, I remember seeing her read it, and I thought, she's not a pastor, so she's just doing this because she loves to do it. And so I remember calling her in my mid-20s saying, hey, Mom, how do you read the Scriptures and enjoy them the way that you do? And she said something I'll never forget. She said, she told me her story about being in her 30s and not liking the Scriptures or reading the Bible. And so she started praying that God would give her a hunger for His Word that surpassed all of the excuses she tended to put in the way. And so she just started praying, God, would you give me a hunger? Because she held on to this verse where Jesus says, whoever hungers and thirsts for what's right, you'll be filled. And so she's like, Lord, if you just give me the hunger, I know you'll fill me. And so two things. I would encourage you, if you're struggling in the season in the Word, start praying that God would give you a hunger, that you would literally hunger to read the Word the way you hunger for everything else in your life that you do naturally. And then secondly, if you were going to start somewhere in the Scriptures, I'd encourage you to start in the Gospel of Mark. It's one of my favorite books in the Bible. And every time I read through it, I find myself just falling more in love with Jesus. You just see who He is, not by what He says, but how He lives and how He loves and how He acts. And man, it's just amazing. So that's probably where I'd start. Pray for hunger, get in the book of Mark, and see what God's going to do through it.
That's a great answer. Last question. You kind of did it just then, but I still want to ask it. I don't want you to answer a question to me, David Skidmore. I want you now you're looking in the camera, you're going into the living rooms of a lot of students who are hurting. They're angry, they're confused, they're grieving, they're sad, they're frustrated, they're tired, every emotion. So I'm not going to give you a question to answer. I'm just going to let you look them right in the eye, and because I just trust that the Spirit speaks through you. And I've prayed about your answer to this question, knowing that whatever it says, it's going to be anointed. But just look them in the eye and give them a couple of sentences in closing before we have to say goodbye, David.
Yeah, I didn't know Skid was going to ask me that question, but immediately, as soon as he asked it, the phrase that popped into my mind is fix your eyes on eternity. And I think we're in a moment right now where a lot of us, we are so bogged down because the uncertainty of the future has paralyzed us in the present. Like, we don't know what college is going to look like in the fall for some of you that are graduating, and you're like, I don't know what that's going to look like. Or maybe some of you are getting ready to start high school and you don't know what that's going to look like in the fall. Or maybe there's a bunch of uncertainty. Maybe some of you in this season, you've been stuck in a house with a stepdad that you don't have a good relationship with, or maybe this season has exposed some of the pain within your own family unit. And I think sometimes there's this temptation to get so bogged down in the uncertainty of what's coming and the uncertainty of what we're in that we don't know what to do with it. And I just want to remind you that before any of this begun, God, He sees you, He knows you, He created you. It's not an accident that you're alive right now, that you're living in this moment. And He has incredible plans for your life. And I'm just telling you, on the other side of this, whatever it looks like, if you will stick close to Jesus, if you'll just keep saying yes to Him every single day, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I promise you, if you'll keep saying yes to Jesus in the midst of all of it with eyes that are fixed on the eternal reality, that one day we'll be in the presence of God forever. And I believe that will really help you in the midst of this moment that you're in, that God will not just get you through it, but that you'll actually come through it stronger, that you won't just survive it, but that you'll actually thrive in the middle of this moment. So that's what I pray for you guys. And Skid, I don't know if it's cool. Can I pray over the students?
Of course
Is that okay?
you can. Of course you can, yes.
Yeah. Father, I just love you. And man, I love these students. I remember 7 years ago standing in that retreat center with some of these students, many of them who have probably gone on to other things now. But Lord, I just remember being there, experiencing your presence and your favor on the North Boulevard Youth Group. And God, I just thank you, Lord. I just thank you so much. Thank you for who they are. Thank you for the way that you're moving in their midst. And Jesus, in your name, by your power, would you fill their lives with more of the Holy Spirit? Would you pour out your Spirit on their lives and their homes? God, would you give them a hunger for your word? Would you give them a perspective that's anchored in eternity? God, would you give them a vision, not just for the moment, not just for the next season, but for who it is that you've made them to be? God, I'm convinced that there are young women and young men in this youth group that you're going to use them to change culture. You're going to use them to shape the future in ways they could never predict. God, would you hold them close to your heart? Would you give them eyes and ears for you? And God, would you launch them into whatever it is that you have before us? And God, in all of it, would you just help us to have fun? Would you help us to enjoy you? Jesus, in your name and your power, I ask that these students would not just know about you, but that they would enjoy you, that they would love you, that you would become their very closest friend and confidant and support and strength and leader, and will follow you to the end of our lives, to the end of the earth. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Dave, I can't thank you enough. I love you, and I'm inspired by you, and I'm honored to just sit and listen to you today and to serve alongside you, brother. Love you, man.
Hey, I love you, bro. Thanks.
Tell Sid and the boys hello. We're going to send them something so you can take them to Chick-fil-A later on and go out and eat. Love you, man. Take care. All right, so our time has come to a close tonight, but I want to tell you about what's coming up next week. So listen carefully, because I'm pretty excited about this, about next week. So next week we have Deshaun White. Deshaun White is the starting linebacker for the Oklahoma Sooners, and my good friend David Fraze was a character coach for Deshaun when he was in middle school and high school in North Richland Hills in Texas. David Fraze will be with us as well. David stayed in touch with Deshaun White for a long time, and he said, hey, I said, Dave, do you have anybody that could come in and talk to us and just talk to our students, especially our student athletes, because Dave does a lot of work with FCA, David Fraze. And he said, yeah, I got just the guy. He says, you know Deshaun? I said, no. He says, well, you got any Oklahoma Sooner fans? I said, yeah, we got a few in our group. He says, well, I'll call Deshaun. And he called him up and he said, yeah, I'd love to join. And Deshaun's got a pretty powerful story and a pretty unique platform. And so he's going to be with us next week to talk a little bit about what it means to be a follower of Jesus on the stage that he is. And he'll be playing on Sundays someday. Started in every game last year. He's a junior this year. And I really can't wait to get a chance to interview David and Deshaun, because David discipled Deshaun. And we're going to see what discipleship looks like in that format, and how Deshaun is saying yes every day to Jesus. Well, I know there's some broken hearts out there. Dave Clayton definitely laid some seeds on the surface of your heart. So the next time your heart breaks, I know those things are going to fall in, and I hope you heard them. Pass them on to somebody else. Share them with somebody else. We love you very much. We had some pictures of the parade you threw for Blake and I earlier last week. We want to thank you all. Well, both of us will get a chance to thank you next week in Pictures of the Week. But we wanted to get to this stuff tonight and have time for it. I want to thank all of our guests that were able to join us. I hope you had some laughs like we did. I needed some laughs. Even more, we need to see you in this space, and it's going to happen soon. We love you. God, be with these students. Be with our students. Keep them safe. Thank you for the Claytons. Thank you for David Fraze. Be with Deshaun next week as he speaks to us. God, thank you for the gift of laughter, and thank you for healing our wounded hearts in just a small way tonight. It's through the name of Jesus that we pray. And all who believe say amen. True North, we love you, and take care. We'll see you next week.